Seems like an odd thing to say, and actually everything that he's put on his Truth Social recently has been very odd. And this one's just a little too coherent. Not enough all caps, not enough spelling mistakes, not enough sentences that start and don't end. Now I'm gonna have to mute it because they seem to be in a restaurant and there's copyrighted music playing, but they don't say anything that you need to hear anyway.
Something very strange just happened. The man who lives for attention has gone missing from public appearances. Then out of nowhere, we see objects being literally tossed from a White House window. That isn't just bizarre, it screams cover up. And here's where it gets crazier. His supposedly coherent Truth Social post might be more suspicious than reassuring. What if the White House is scrambling to hide a health crisis? We'll break down the unusual meds, the symptoms, and the bizarre window stunt that's got people asking what they're really hiding. Before we continue, if you appreciate this content, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe. It's free and it helps our channel grow. Thank you. Now back to the video. Why would the White House risk tossing stuff out of a second-story window instead of just walking it through a door like a normal person? Picture this. You're part of the most security-obsessed building on Earth, and yet, right there in plain view of whoever happens to be walking by, someone lobs out long white objects, followed by a bag like they're cleaning out a college dorm room. It wasn't some secret midnight operation. It was broad open air. People on the street saw it, and instead of raising alarms, it looked like it came with the shrug of, yep, just White House business.
These tweets don't really even sound like him, and I'm not an expert in Trump, but I have read a lot of his tweets, and just a couple of hours ago, somebody spotted an open window in the second story of the White House. You can clearly see the window is open here, and somebody's got their arm sticking out of it. They're looking out, and apparently, I guess there must be somebody down here that they're talking to, but boom, you see that just...
Now here's the thing, these folks are obsessed with optics. They don't even let a broom closet door swing open without thinking about what angle the camera might catch. Yet suddenly someone thought it was a brilliant idea to fling strange items out of a window. It's almost cartoonish. What's next? A presidential aide practicing frisbee throws with medical records into the Rose Garden. Can you imagine a staffer spinning around like a kid playing fetch, while Donnie Diapers yells, "Go long!" Already the whole thing feels too suspicious to laugh off, but also too funny not to. And where were the reporters? Oh right, standing around, cameras dangling, pretending like it was just another Tuesday. No questions, no raised eyebrows, nothing. The press pool, supposed to be watchdogs, looked more like tired babysitters ignoring the kid lighting matches. Don't expect a follow-up story about this from the networks because they apparently missed the practice round of evidence shot put right there in front of them, and that's where people lose confidence in the press. If this looked like a regular citizen tossing odd trash in public, we'd wonder what was in it, but because it was the White House, journalists turned into potted plants. Here's why it stinks. Every bit of White House garbage normally goes through secure channels. Waste is monitored, handled in discreet areas by staff trained to make sure nothing sensitive goes missing. No one's dropping a bag from a balcony like it's yesterday's laundry. Breaking that protocol is incredibly strange. It signals urgency, desperation, or both. If you already run a place where optics matter more than plumbing, then why toss anything if you can send it down a hallway into a shredder? That's the question that makes this little performance so suspicious. Now, if you're trying to hide something, what's the kind of thing you wouldn't risk in the normal waste stream? We're talking about medical devices, maybe packaging for treatments, or bags of something that instantly scream patient. It doesn't take much imagination to connect the dots. You've got a man with rumors of health problems, unusual medications, odd bruising, and suddenly bags mysteriously go sailing through the air. That's not recycling, that's panicking. And once you throw something in front of witnesses, the whole secret turns into a bigger story because now people wonder what was so special it had to go out the window. If the items were medical waste, that's even worse. Imagine 4 lines, bandages, or empty prescription packs being ditched where anyone could see. That lines up way too comfortably with what people have been whispering about Trump's health for months. It's messy, it's reckless, and it looks like part of a cover-up. And if the White House is genuinely panicking enough to ditch medical leftovers this way, that means the internal situation is shakier than they want anyone to believe. And here's where it ties back in. A medical investigator has started tracing connections between what seemed like dumped trash and the list of pills Trump appears to take every day. That's where the puzzle stops looking silly and starts getting serious. What do a cholesterol pill, mystery bruises, and swollen ankles have in common? According to one medical investigator, everything. It might sound like a riddle, but the pieces fit together much too neatly. When you line up the meds, the symptoms, and the visible changes, you get a picture that looks less like routine health maintenance and more like someone patching up a bigger problem behind closed doors. Start with the drug cocktail. Rosuvastatin, a strong cholesterol-lowering pill, another medication aimed at heart health, and of course, the daily aspirin. Look at that mix on its own, and it screams stroke prevention kit. Doctors hand this out like armor, but not usually for someone who's never had a scare. The White House says it's just prevention, like taking a multivitamin. Critics, though, point out that this exact trio shows up after an event, after the system has already failed. It's like patching holes in a boat while insisting the water never came in. But then Donnie Diapers works overtime to sell the tough guy routine. I'm fine. I don't need a doctor. Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, the guy looks like he's been hiding hospital souvenirs on his arms. Mysterious bruises pop up like cheap magic tricks. Imagine pulling a rabbit out of a hat, except instead of applause, you're explaining away needle marks with, "Oh, just bumped into a desk again." Come on, if he was really bumping into things that often the White House hallways would look like a demolition site. The symptoms don't help his case either. Watch footage closely and you'll catch the leg dragging, a tiny stutter in the walk that doesn't match the perfect health narrative. Then there's the eye droop, subtle in still shots, but pretty clear in interviews. These aren't quirks. They line up with classic stroke warning signs, slurred words here, slowed movements there. You don't need a medical degree to see something's off. And yet, the storyline is always the same. Never felt better. Better than what, though? A man halfway through recovery. Now comes the weird pattern. Every few weeks, almost like clockwork, new bruises show up. A hand here, an arm there. Are we supposed to believe the guy is sparring with Mike Tyson once a month? Or does it make more sense that needles are going in and out on a schedule? If you're getting IV treatments, the marks don't lie. They leave a trail much harder to cover than political spin. Swollen ankles add another piece to the puzzle. That's a textbook side effect of both heart conditions and certain medications. Suddenly, the image of Grumpy Trumpy stomping around in lifts with puffy ankles doesn't scream strong man, so much as patient on a quiet regimen. Put together the bruises, the limp, the puffy ankles, the bag of meds, and you don't see random accidents. You see a timeline, quiet treatments, carefully staged appearances, each symptom a marker on a path that officials would rather no one notice. The man who tries to sell invincibility is carrying signs of frailty right on his body, and no amount of orange spray tan can cover that up. The theory goes like this. Trump suffered a silent or minor stroke, avoided the humiliation of a public hospital trip, and now keeps getting IV treatments in secret. The bruises are entry points, the meds are backup, and the cover story is perfect health. It's a script with props and stage directions designed to hide the reality, so stay alert, watch the details, and don't just take the official line at face value. If you've got your own theories, drop them in the comments, because people are noticing these gaps. And let's be real, when Donnie Diaper says he's never felt better, maybe the question is, better compared to what?